Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today and finding time out from your busy schedule and attending our webinar. Today I'm going to talk about where and how to use and store your big data with using Azure Synapse Analytics. I am a Soren, .NET developer at Doom Daniel. Today's coffee talk is scheduled around 30 minutes, and please feel free to leave your comments and questions on a platform that you are going to use today. Our agenda consists of brief topics like discussing about modern big data analytics goals and big data toolsets like Data Lakehouse. Next, we have a topic about overview of Synapse Analytics. We are going to answer questions where and how to use Synapse Analytics for solving big data analytics problems. And a final part dedicated to Azure Synapse demonstration, Azure Synapse workspace. We are going to create Synapse and hold some data on it and query them. Today's each company, successful company, application, digitalized business allocates more and more regions and accumulates more and more users. So, in one time they have exponentially growth data, and problem rising when the business analyst wants to query them, analyze this data, and make some purposes like report and BI. And most people think that the dragon level of this problem is a big amount of data. Yes, big amount of data is a problem, but you can solve it with scale upping your current computing or storage resources and timely solve this problem. But it's only a tip of the iceberg. And this data, as a rule, has different sources and dozens of formats, and sometimes it has a structured form. And so last three is full eliminates all the standard approaches using in a data science analytics. Today's modern analytics requirement is very simple. Everything should be faster, and your data and your analytics toolset should be applicable to use many use cases like BI, machine learning, data science, or some reporting, which you should, for example, have a reporting system near real time. And having a vast amount of data pools, let's distinguish two types of data. First type is that when you have a natural form of data, it can be blob objects, files, streaming, it can be log files. All of these types of data we're storing in a data lakes. Another file we are going to approach is a very filtered, curated, and structured data that can be a table format and relational data. All of these data we're storing in data warehouses. Both data lakes and data warehouses today work well, but modern big data storage need all of these in one place. Data Lakehouse intend to bring all of best from data lakes and data warehouses in one place. Let's look at what we have with data warehouses. Formerly, organizations worked only with structured data sources. And when business analysts want to do some analytical processes like BI or reporting, data engineers catching up data from staging environment and after ETL pipelines, for example, filtering and transforming data, they hold all this data into data warehouses. As you see, we have in data warehouse, we have a very highly curated structured data, we can say it's a reliable data model, and as data engineers work with him with the pipeline, it can be data governance principles with this data. And of course, this data is highly muted for using in BI and reporting systems. But there is a problem. Structured data sources now accounts only 20% in organization's data. We have data in a CSV formats, JSON, log files, streaming. We have a data in NoSQL databases. We can have a data like in an audio form or a video streaming data. And all of this data accounts around 18%. And from this slide, you can see that it's impossible to do machine learning and data science having only a data warehouse. For solving this problem, data engineers add data lakes. And they hold all the variety files formats data into a data lakes, including structured data sometimes, and solving machine learning and data science problems. As you see from these slides, data lakes have benefits like holding data in open format. It's, of course, scalable and inexpensive. And finally, we can do with him machine learning and data science approaches. But not all fun with data lakes because, as you know, in previous slides, we need to have some reporting or BI processes which for best works with data warehouses for direct querying in relational data. For making this architecture, data engineers add additional line, ETL line, and filtering some kind of data and load it into data warehouses. So, as you see from this architecture, here we have two headaches. One is a data lake, another is a data warehouse, and both are huge systems. And we can sometimes have a data in same data hold in data lakes and data warehouses too, and there can cause data redundancy problems. So, data lakes it tends to bring, as we say, best from data lakes and data warehouses and make last architecture more simple. And from data lakes, we need that we can have more easy to handle all types of data, structured, unstructured, or even semi-structured data. We can have opportunity to query all of this data faster and discover or explanation purposes. We should have opportunity with only data preview or directly query them. It adds redundancy TL, of course, but we should have a query across the data warehouse and data lakes operational storage without ETL. And redundant data we need to have on it for some metadata management and for data searching, tracking, and sharing purposes. From Data Lakehouse, we need that have opportunity to hold on them data in native formats like Parquet, JSON, CSV, and etc., and directly query them. Of course, we need to decouple storage and the computing resources, pay for them separately, and of course, both should be scalable. And next, we need to have integrated security and governance controls for classifying and projection data. And as we say in previous slides, it should have use in BI for data science, machine learning, and even streaming purposes. And finally, it should have cost-effective. And the big question, are there any tools that hold all of these? Tools ready for the full experience of the Data Lakehouse are here. And first is a Databricks. Let's mention that you can find Databricks in Azure too. Next we have Snowflake. It's a separate service. We have Redshift in Amazon Web Services, and finally, of course, Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics is a unified analytical service which brings together all of the best from data ingestion services using pipelines, ETL pipelines, and next we have enterprise data warehouses like dedicated or serverless SQL. And finally, it's have a huge amount of big data analytics tool sets. Synapse suggests as a unified platform with security, monitoring, management, and development toolsets. And for creating Azure Synapse, first we need to add Azure Data Lake Gen 2 for storage purposes. Next, you can use computing purposes, dedicated SQL pool or serverless SQL, or if you're familiar with Apache Spark pool, you can use them. And for data ingestion, it suggests a Synapse pipeline and mapping data flows. If you're familiar with Azure Data Factory, it suggests the same toolset pipeline in Azure Data Factory Studio. And finally, as Synapse is itself from Azure, very easy to connect services like Azure Cosmos DB or Azure Machine Learning or Power BI or etc. Now let's go in our demo part. First, you need to have Azure subscription. If you have it, you can let's start. First, you need to type Synapse in a search box. And from here, choose it, Azure Synapse Analytics. Afterwards, you can click Create. For creating Synapse, you need to choose your subscription, your resource group, and you need to add additional resource group for additional management. Let's keep naming convention, and for example, it can have name RG demo. Dev West U. As we have, it can be 3. Next, we need to add workspace name. For example, it can be a demo dev. Okay. Next, we will choose region as it's in our resource group we have, and add, as I say, Data Lake Storage Gen 2. If you have it created before that, or if you haven't, you can create it from here, create now. Let's click next. From here, you need to add SQL admin login. With the help of this login, you're going to log in all of the SQL resources that you're going to create on the Synapse. So let's create very secure password. Something we have problem. Okay, and going on a networking section. Here, please mention that it's have clicked. You have it's allow you connect from all IP addresses. And next, click Create and Review. And it asks us, do you want to pay $5 per terabytes? Of course, we are going it, and after creation, the service will be created. I have created before that because it takes 2 or 5 minutes. And here is my Synapse Analytics resource. From here you have many properties, but now I'm going to show you Synapse Analytics Studio. As you noticed, it's changed the URL and suggests us we can go on Synapse using only this URL without entering Azure portal. Let's click enter web.azuresynapse.net. From here you can choose your Active Directory default, so it's loaded. Choose your subscription, default subscription, yeah, and your Synapse workspace, and click Continue. It's open as for a home page, and there are very useful links, but let's start from left hand, from both. We have manage toolsets. From here you can create SQL dedicated pools, serverless pools, and for example, Apache Spark pools, link services, and so on, triggers, yeah, integration runtimes. From monitor part, you can monitor all of your pools, queries, pipelines, and so on. From ingest, you can, with clicking plus, you can add your pipelines, ETL pipelines from here. And on a develop section, you can add your scripts, like SQL scripts, and hold all of your scripts here. And now in a data section, let's look. Here we have workspace and linked list sections. Okay, here I have SQL database, as you see, car warehouse, because of I added from managed part. Here it's my SQL pool. Let's create one. I'm going to show you how to create one. From here you can add, or let's cancel it and choose SQL pool. Now there are two ones, built-in and car warehouse, that I have created. Now I want to press for start because it gets more time. And here we can add a new one, choosing performance level for $1, $1.51 USD per hour. It's a minimal cost for SQL pool. And here we can add some name. Afterward, we can go to, in an additional section, you can choose your what type of data you want to add on it. It can be non, backup, or restore point. After creating review, it can create it. But now I'm not going to create it because I have one here. Let's go into develop part. And before workspace, we have here links, of course. And here I have my data lake storage gen 2 that I have added in a creation Synapse Analytics. Here we have all of the containers that we can find in our data lake. Here is all of the containers that I can see from here. And we can add some new one, link service. Let's connect external data. It adds us opportunity to add external data from Azure Blob Storage, Azure Cosmos DB in a MongoDB form or NoSQL form. We can add Azure Data Explorer with Custo, and of course Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Let's add Blob Storage. Because I have here additional service for blobs. Here is my blob storage, and let's name it car source. Let's keep naming convention, having big letters with, and add here some description. Let's choose your subscription from where you are going to find your storage account. It's named Demo Scene Storage Account. Scene Storage Account, it's here. Afterward, we are going to click on a text connection. If we success on it, yes, connection successful. Let's create it now. On this container, I have, as I remember, I have only one file, CSV file. We have succeeded, and here should appear new one. Let's refresh our page. Here, Azure Blob Storage. Car source with car sources. And here is a CSV file. We can see with right-clicking on it, we can, for example, select top 100 rows, and it's create SQL script. It's on a transact SQL. You can manage it in what you want. Let's run it. Here we have some problem. Because we don't have access on this container, let's add additional control access, manage access level, and let's add just container level instead of file level. And let's try again. And here you see all of the data that we are going to hold on these CSV files. So it's opportunity to directly query on a CSV files that hold on your blob storage. Of course, in the data lakes we have files too. Let's see on car data container what we have there. Here we have CSV, JSON, Parquet. We can add the same with there in a Parquet file too. And here is our Parquet file. There we have more code, of course. We can see data preview from here, or you can use chart and see more data analyst likes tools like this. Now let's go over. Now it's online. Our SQL Pool car warehouse, and let's go to here and create some query. Let's close all of this. Okay, let's create new one. Add new script. I have a new script here. Let's open the copy for saving time. Okay. Let's copy and paste it on here. So first we create a master key, and next we have create a credential for our data lake. Here we need to put our access key from our data lake. Let's go to our data lake, get access keys from here. You can choose key 1 or key 2. Let's choose key 1. Paste it here. Where is paste, huh? Okay. And here we need add our container name and storage account name. Let's add it. It's our storage account name, which we are going to put here. And container name, of course. Our container name. Where's our container? Here's our container, and container, let's choose data car data. Container name. Please notice this protocol, ADFFSS. It comes with Azure Data Lake Gen 2. And here we have going to create external file format using file terminator and for example data formats and all of the properties. If you want to dive into it, you can follow us in deep dive, and we are going to there work all of this more detailed. For the next, we have create external table with the name xcarz, and here's all. Let's run query. Here we have should choose our computing resource, car warehouse. So let's try again. Run. As you see, now we have in a workspace we have car warehouse SQL pool, and in an external table now we have xcarz with columns. So you can open this warehouse from using for example, Azure SQL Management Studio, or more lighter tool, Azure Data Studio. You can add new connection. From here, you need to add a server. It we can find in our Synapse properties. Here is our dedicated endpoint and serverless endpoint. Let's choose this one. Add, choose SQL login, and we have here admin username, and of course our very secure password. Let's connect. Here you see all of your databases in one pool, and we're going to find our external data. Yes, it's here. You can directly query your data from here. It's all of you see from here. As you see, it's very easy to hold data into data lake formats and query them directly with help of Synapse Pipelines. That's all. If you like our coffee talk, please follow us in LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. We are going to have a deep dive on this theme. If you like it, please follow our posts. We will put the links for registration. Thank you.